Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for October 18th. Okay, so I want to take a look at a couple of things. I'm going to start off with my pendulum because I have another little list of races that I have been asked to take a look at. And like I said, just put it in the comment section, and hopefully I won't miss any, and I'll make a list and I'll get to them. Some of them may end up getting repeated, but I'm hoping not. I'm hoping for the most part that just I'm not asking the same questions over and over again about the same places. So um let's see. I think this is Montana. No, no, it's not. That's not it. It is, if somebody wanted to know about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Marcus Flowers. I don't know off the top of my head where Marjorie Taylor Greene actually, what state she's actually in. Um, But let's just broadly ask about the race, shall we? So, for those of you who may be new, back and forth like that means the pendulum is ready to talk. Pendulum, show me yes, and you'll see it shifts into a back and forth movement. Show me no, and it goes around and around and around. Okay, here we go. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to hold on to her seat as a result of the midterm elections? Is she going to stay in office? And God, that's a yes. I'm so sorry. Okay. Somebody wanted to know about the LA sheriff. So let's take a look. It is somebody, last name Luna versus Villanueva. I think. I know I've said that wrong. I apologize. So we're gonna go with Luna because I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that one right. So we're just gonna ask: Is Luna, is a candidate Luna going to win the seat for sheriff? Is that going to be a win for candidate Luna? Okay, that looks like a yes. Um, Somebody wanted to know if Tina Kotek is going to be the next governor of Oregon. I don't even have an sort of an adversary here, so we're just going to ask that. For the governor of Oregon, is Tina Kotek going to be sworn in as the next governor of Oregon? Okay, right now that looks like a no, unfortunately. Um, I know there's races going on in Alaska, but if you're in Alaska, please send me the races you want me to look at with people's names, okay? Because Czech Alaska is just a little bit way too vague. The Utah Senate race. Okay, so this is interesting because that is between that Evan McMullen, who he's run before previously, against Mike Lee, who is an established Republican conservative senator. So here we go. Is Evan Mullen going to be able to unseat Mike Lee? Is he going to be able to unseat Mike Lee? And that's getting a pretty strong yes. So that's good news. Hopefully that turns out that way. Minnesota, between an Angie Gregg, or Craig maybe, and a Tyler Christner. It's a bad thing we can't even know writing anymore. Okay, so Minnesota is Angie Craig going to win her race in the upcoming midterm election in Minnesota? Is she going to be the winner, Angie Craig? Okay, that's looking like a yes. North Dakota House Reps. Apparently, there is an independent named Kara Mudd who is running against a Kelly Armstrong. So, in North Dakota House for the House Rep, Carla Mudd, is she going to have the win in the midterm election? That's a yes. And yeah, that's what I have so far. Okay, now I just want to address something. um, so this is the thing. We all have a soul print, all right? We all have a plan and a purpose and sort of um, a pathway, the things that we want to accomplish in this experience, okay? And this is coming up particularly with Stacey Abrams. And people are just like, well, we can let's just put so much energy into her winning that we sort of impose our will, right? We just need her to win, and so we're just going to make it energetically so she can win. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. So you can never, with energy, um, specifically make a person or a situation behave in a predetermined way. Okay. Um, This is sort of a broad example, but it's what's coming to mind right now. So, every once in a while, somebody will fall in love, right? And they're like, I want that person to fall in love with me. That person. That's who I want. That one. And we can't make that happen. Okay. And anybody who says they can help you make that happen is wrong, or they're really playing with a level of energy that should not be played with. You can ask the universe, bring me love. I want love in my life. I want a companion. I want affection, whatever it is. But you cannot say, universe, make that person fall in love with me. Because by doing that, you are imposing your will, or attempting to impose your will on somebody else. Okay. And the thing is with Stacey Abrams, listen, I'm with you. I really hope that something shifts and changes, and she stops getting a no to the question of if she's going to win. Okay. But we don't know what Stacey may yet bring to the table. And so it's really important that we remember that. Okay. Um, it just doesn't work that way. And it's just as simple as that. I do, however, ask one more question that I've asked before. Ron DeSantis, boy, oh boy, is he ever getting into a lot of trouble? He's under all kinds of investigations now over that stunt with the migrants. So the one I heard most recently that really made me chuckle was I guess one of the sheriffs in Texas who was investigating this, or looking into this whole thing that happened there, basically said that as far as he's concerned, those migrants now need to stay in the United States and be offered some sort of a visa, because they're the victims of a crime. So I don't know if good old DeSantis actually thought that that was going to not happen, or he didn't think about it happening, or he didn't care if it happened. But let's just take one more look, or another look, because we've got time yet. Let's take another look at DeSantis versus Christ. Charlie Crist. Okay, so pendulum. Looking forward, is DeSantis going to be able to hold on to the governorship of Florida? Will he be reelected as governor of Florida? Okay, so now you can see it's getting like a really, really little no. So the energies are shifting somehow. I don't know what that yet. For me, I would interpret this as an incredibly tight race, almost as if it is still really, really up in the air. And that shifted because I am positive the last time I asked my pendulum, it said that DeSantis was going to win. So you can see energy fluctuates and things change. Um, and we can all put our energy into the highest good, but we cannot specifically use our energy to circumvent somebody else's free will or their soul print. Okay. All right. So speaking of soul prints, boy, oh boy, has Trump ever had a rough go of it lately, eh? I mean, he's just yelling and screaming and more unhinged, and you know, courts aren't ruling in his favor. Um, Clarence Thomas said, "I don't want to talk about this nonsense." The 11th Circuit or the Ninth Circuit, whichever one, where the Department of Justice has. Um, so first, the Department of Justice went to an appellate court to overrule, or appeals court to overrule Cannon's rulings about the top secret documents. That got shot down. She got slapped in the head for that. Well, now there was a second one that was put in at the same time, and that was just basically completely canceling and voiding everything she did and said, basically saying she had no business doing it, she didn't need to be involved in this in the first place, and she didn't meet any of the criteria. So that is now working its way through that court, and it feels as if there's going to be an answer about that by, I think, sometimes if it's not towards the end of November, it's like the beginning of December. There's like time frames. Like I know that the Department of Justice has filed their brief, and I think Trump has, or his lawyers have, until I believe it's the 10th of November to reply, and then there's something else that happens at a certain date, and like it's all been laid out. Like that court has already laid out an inflexible timeline, so there's not going to be any delays granted. So that doesn't look like it's going well. Trump has to be deposed in the E. Jean Carroll thing. Um, um, Letitia James put in an emergency injunction against the Trump businesses because they were trying to ship their assets to another company in, I don't know, some other like state across, I don't know, the river or some damn thing. But anyways, so she slapped an emergency injunction on them, or is in the process of doing so. It's just not looking good for Trump. And as I said, I mean, I said this, I think, the last time I read with him, which was literally a few days ago, that he's just going to become more and more irate and more volatile because things are not going to go his way. Um, and, the January 6th committee has done an amazing job at making him look like exactly what he is, an uncaring, cruel person with probably some sort of medical diagnosis regarding his mental health, um, who just wants what he wants. And it they've done a really good job. I repeat, they're not done yet. There's going to be at least one more public hearing, maybe two. Um, I do see them actually being able to wrap up uh, by the end of this year or super early in January, kind of before the new, you know, the people who were elected in the midterm are sworn in. Um, I would not be surprised if there is not, if either in another house or within the January 6th committee, an investigation that goes forward into the Secret Service, because boy, oh boy, they got some doo doo on their plates to straighten out. And it's been very interesting. The tapes that were released that showed Nancy Pelosi in such a strong, capable role on the 6th. And I think the one that just made me want to throw something at my television, in one of those video clips, there was a picture of Steve Scalise, standing in that group of people as I think they were talking to the Department of Defense or something. He was standing right there And then a couple weeks later, he's on some platform somewhere screaming about Nancy Pelosi slowing things down. And what did she really do? And doesn't that need to be he was right there. He saw exactly what was going on, how hard she was working. These people, the hypocrisy, I'm telling you, it's through the roof. And what is so sad is that Republicans of a certain mindset don't care. They just want control of the Senate. They want control of the House, and that's all there is to it. Not good. Just dropped too much cards. Hold on. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to take sort of like I just want to do like a broader overview of so we're kind of now, in the middle of October, right? I want to take a look at the next 3 weeks or the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks, I guess. I want to look at from now until the end of October and to the say 10th of, so I guess that's probably 4 weeks, 3.5, whatever, of November. So I want to go from now until just after the midterms. Um, Speaking of which, listen, I know out there's a bunch of guys who are astrologers and do astrology. I want to know if anybody can give me any clarity about this eclipse that is happening on November 8th and that how that may or may not impact the voting or the results of the midterm elections. I know it's a big deal. I've said it before. What I know about astrology could, fit on the top of a pin. But so if for those of you out there who have that amazing skill set, just maybe send me a quick little message. But I am curious to know what impact the energies of the eclipse are actually going to have on the energies for the day of the election. Okay, so let's look at the United States, broadly speaking. um, Between now, I'm just arbitrarily on November 10th. Okay, so USA current to November 10, USA current to November 10, USA current to November 10. There we go. Okay. Some people who we would hope would not lose their races are going to lose. But overall, there is going to be not a mass rejection. I think this election is actually going to be a little bit closer than we are hoping. But don't forget, the Democrats were supposed to lose massively. They were supposed to lose the House and the Senate by big numbers because that's what happened in midterm elections. That's not going to happen. But there's definitely some people that we're going to be saying goodbye to. And let's not forget, people like, Liz Cheney and Kissinger are also going to be, going. So the country has lost some good public servants, but it also feels as if, though not on a massive scale, but there's going to be enough people with sort of twisted ideas or backwards thoughts that are going to be departing. They're going to be leaving the scene. So, you know, they're not going to be winning. The election deniers and the crazy, some of them are going to get through. Absolutely. I'm sorry about that. But hey, I live in Alberta. If you saw yesterday's video, you'll understand we all got our own problems. um, but some of it is actually just going to get rejected because it's sort of more than energetically can be sustained given the energetic and energy shifts that are going on globally. Okay, there has been a great deal of very, very hard work put in by people who are trying to strengthen democracy and strengthen the country. They have, even though you may not see it, it may not feel like it, but they have caused, whether it is with advertising, whether it's some of these debates, which over the weekend they were like beyond pitiful, or whether it is the January 6th committee, they have changed people's minds. They have been able to wake some people up and really clarify for them what went on around the January 6th. What is going on with some of the politicians that they elect? And some of them have, and we keep our fingers crossed and say it's enough. Hopefully, there's enough of them who have had their minds changed that when they join together with you know, Democrats and independents who are trying to save democracy and save the country. Hopefully, there are enough of them to really make that the results of the election mm, powerful and positive. The Republicans are putting on a very kind of brave face, except for Mitch McConnell, who does occasionally mutter about quality candidates. But what you're seeing is that the sort of it's insulting. That's what it is. It is like the bullying, insulting attitudes that a lot of the Republicans are taking. Um, it's falling like on deaf ears, okay? It's not coming across in a way that is honestly just acceptable to most people, okay? I mean, oh my God, Ron Johnson screaming about how the FBI is setting him up. Herschel Walker pulling out a fake badge out of his freaking pocket. Um, um, it's kind of crazy. It really is kind of crazy. The stunts and the level to which these people will um, slither. Dr. Oz saying if his opponent had just ever eaten a vegetable in his life, he wouldn't have a stroke. And then admitting, well, no, of course I wouldn't talk to one of my patients that way. We're supposed to be electing you based on what? The quality of your character? Um, so there's just a lot. Now, and the other thing too, I want to mention, just because I'm rambling, is I don't want you guys panicking because it's perfectly normal for the races to be tightening up and the numbers to be getting tighter. I don't want you to start falling into the oh my God, what's going to happen? We're going to lose. I want you to stay centered. I want you to stay calm. I want you to stand in that light of yours. And I certainly want for those of you who are interested to take a look at the video tomorrow. That is going to be the Shine Your Light video number 3 pertaining to the election. Okay. It looks like kind of overall there is going to be a sense of justice and fair play that somehow, and I swear those are not words that people can use in politics lately, almost in any country. But it feels as if there's going to be a balancing as a result of the midterms. It feels like there's going to be, I don't know, just a sense of like rational people being in charge, there being more um it's like control, but I don't mean that in a negative way. Almost like the energies are going to just start to settle. They are not going to completely settle because you know what? Those Republicans are going to be yelling and screaming. They're flipping heads off, and there's going to be a whole lot of this election was stolen from me. I refuse to concede, blah, blah, blah. So expect that. Don't think that this is going to just be okay, fine, because it's not. But ultimately, it looks like the vast majority of people in the United States are going to have something to celebrate about. Okay, you've got the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups sitting here. That's a good thing. Do not be surprised if there is some confusion, if there is a delay in terms of announcing winners. Um, that's okay. Don't panic. Stay strong. There's going to be a lot of confusing messages also in the air between now and November 8th. There's going to be a lot of static. So it's really important that um, you, my viewers, who I care about greatly, stay calm, keep yourself away from the noise, but stay informed. Okay. And I know that's hard to do. And I know everybody's suffering from burnout. I got to tell you, so am I. But the point is, this is not the time to lose faith, and it is not the time to lose focus. It's super important that um, we move through until, you know, the election and just after election, until everything's tabulated and sorted out and confirmed, that we keep ourselves focused and moving forward into just a better, happier, stronger, headspace. That's what we're trying to bring, we're trying to bring forward. Okay, so that's what I know for now. Trump is going to continue to just yammer and scream. He is he is raging, and it's interesting because, you know what, his head is so full of revenge, right? His head is so full of, how do I get this person back, and how am I going to pay this person back? And the reality is that with every day there's more and more information coming out, and none of it's good for him, and that's going to continue to happen as the weeks continue to unfold. I'm also energetically getting we're not done with October yet. And what I'm feeling is that there's going to be a couple of October surprises that come out for some of the Republicans who are running for reelection. There might be a couple bombshells that get dropped there. I don't know who, I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm sort of seeing explosions for a couple of established Republicans. Um, there's definitely going to be, it's going to be, a kind of a tricky few weeks as we go forward, but we're strong and we're going to get through this because that's what we do. All right. So, for those of you who might have missed it, yesterday I released a video on Canadian politics. I was looking specifically at Alberta and the federal government. So, if you're interested in that, take a look. Um, and as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is going to be the Shine Your Light third video getting released on for the U.S. elections, and just kind of calming down the energy and toning down the anger and the rage. Okay, I think I'm done. Everybody, take care. Have a good week. I will see you soon. Until then, take care. Be well. Bye bye.